This is Q77 to Jamaica 165th Street Terminal. This stop is South Conduit Avenue and 221st Street. Next stop, Springfield Boulevard and 144th Avenue. Transfers available to Q85 and Q85 Limited. This stop is Springfield Boulevard and 144th Avenue. Next stop, Springfield Boulevard and 143rd Avenue. This stop is Springfield Boulevard and 143rd Avenue. Next stop, Springfield Boulevard and 141st Road. Transfers available to Q85 and Q85 Limited. This stop is Springfield Boulevard and 141st Road. Next stop, Springfield Boulevard and 141st Avenue. This stop is Springfield Boulevard and 141st Avenue. Next stop, Springfield Boulevard and 138th Road. This stop is Springfield Boulevard and 138th Road. Next stop, Springfield Boulevard and Eastgate Plaza. This stop is Springfield Boulevard and Eastgate Plaza. Next stop, Springfield Boulevard and 136th Avenue. This stop is Springfield Boulevard and 136th Avenue. Next stop, Springfield Boulevard and Merrick Boulevard. Transfers available to Q5, Q5 Limited and X63. This stop is Springfield Boulevard and Merrick Boulevard. Next stop, Springfield Boulevard and 132nd Road. This stop is Springfield Boulevard and 132nd Road. Next stop, Springfield Boulevard and 131st Avenue. This stop is Springfield Boulevard and 131st Avenue. Next stop, Springfield Boulevard and 130th Avenue. This stop is Springfield Boulevard and 130th Avenue. Next stop, Springfield and Montefiore Cemetery. This stop is Springfield and Montefiore Cemetery. Next stop, Springfield Boulevard and 121st Avenue. This stop is Springfield Boulevard and 121st Avenue. Next stop, Springfield Boulevard and 120th Avenue. Transfer available to Q84. This stop is Springfield Boulevard and 120th Avenue. Next stop, Francis Lewis Boulevard and Springfield Boulevard. Transfers available to Q27 and Q27 Limited. This stop is Francis Lewis Boulevard and Springfield Boulevard. Next stop, Francis Lewis Boulevard and Linden Boulevard. Transfers available to Q4, Q4 Limited and X64. This stop is Francis Lewis Boulevard and Linden Boulevard. Next stop, Francis Lewis Boulevard and 116th Avenue. This stop is Francis Lewis Boulevard and 116th Avenue. Next stop, Francis Lewis Boulevard and 115th Avenue. This stop is Francis Lewis Boulevard and 115th Avenue. Next stop, Francis Lewis Boulevard and Murdoch Avenue. Transfers available to Q83 and Q83 Limited. This stop is Francis Lewis Boulevard and Murdoch Avenue. Next stop, Francis Lewis Boulevard and 113th Avenue. This stop is Francis Lewis Boulevard and 113th Avenue. Next stop, Francis Lewis Boulevard and 112th Avenue. This stop is Francis Lewis Boulevard and 112th Avenue. Next stop, Francis Lewis Boulevard and 111th Avenue. This stop is Francis Lewis Boulevard and 111th Avenue. Next stop, Francis Lewis Boulevard and Hollis Avenue. Transfer available to Q2. This stop is Francis Lewis Boulevard and Hollis Avenue. Next stop, Francis Lewis Boulevard and 109th Avenue. This stop is Francis Lewis Boulevard and 109th Avenue. Next stop, Francis Lewis Boulevard and 104th Avenue. This stop is Francis Lewis Boulevard and 104th Avenue. Next stop, Francis Lewis Boulevard and 100th Avenue. This stop is Francis Lewis Boulevard and 100th Avenue. Next stop, Francis Lewis Boulevard and Jamaica Avenue. Transfer available to Q110. This stop is Francis Lewis Boulevard and Jamaica Avenue. Next stop, Francis Lewis Boulevard and 93rd Avenue. This stop is Francis Lewis Boulevard and 93rd Avenue. Next stop, Francis Lewis Boulevard and 90th Avenue. This stop is Francis Lewis Boulevard and 90th Avenue. Next stop, Francis Lewis Boulevard and 89th Avenue. This stop is Francis Lewis Boulevard and 89th Avenue. Next stop, Hillside Avenue and Francis Lewis Boulevard. Transfers available to N1, N6, N6X, N22, N22X, N24, N26, Q1, Q36, Q36 Limited, Q43, Q43 Limited, Q76 and X68. This stop is Hillside Avenue and Francis Lewis Boulevard. Next stop, Hillside Avenue and 202nd Street. This stop is Hillside Avenue and 202nd Street. Next stop, Hillside Avenue and 198th Street. This stop is Hillside Avenue and 198th Street. Next stop, Hillside Avenue and 193rd Street. This stop is Hillside Avenue and 193rd Street. Next stop, Hillside Avenue and 191st Street. This stop is Hillside Avenue and 191st Street. Next stop, Hillside Avenue and 188th Street. This stop is Hillside Avenue and 188th Street. Next stop, Hillside Avenue and 187th Street. Transfers available to N1, N6, N6X, N22, N22X, N24, N26, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q17, Q17 Limited, Q36, Q36 Limited, Q43, Q43 Limited, Q76 and X68. This stop is Hillside Avenue and 187th Street. Next stop, Hillside Avenue and Avon Street. This stop is Hillside Avenue and Avon Street. Next stop, Hillside Avenue and 179th Street Subway. Transfers available to E&F trains. N1, N6, N6X, N22, N22X, N24, N26, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q17, Q17 Limited, Q36, Q36 Limited, Q43, Q43 Limited, Q76, Q110 and X68. This stop is Hillside Avenue and 179th Street Subway. Next stop, Hillside Avenue and Edgerton Boulevard. This stop is Hillside Avenue and Edgerton Boulevard. Next stop, Hillside Avenue and 172nd Street. Transfer available to X68. This stop is Hillside Avenue and 172nd Street. Next stop, Hillside Avenue and Homelawn Street. Transfers available to F train. N1, N6, N6X, N22, N22X, N24, N26, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q17, Q17 Limited, Q30, Q31, Q36, Q36 Limited, Q43, Q43 Limited and Q76. This stop is Hillside Avenue and Homelawn Street. Next stop, 165th Street and 165th Street Terminal. Transfers available to N1, N6, N6X, N22, N22X, N24, N26, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q6, Q6 Limited, Q8, Q9, Q17, Q17 Limited, Q36, Q36 Limited, Q41 and Q76. This stop is 165th Street and 165th Street Terminal. This is Q77 to Jamaica 165th Street Terminal.